Yeah, the first thing you have to realize in starting a business is who your customer is. James Carville, when he ran Bill Clinton's campaign back in 1992, the political campaign was, "It's the economy, stupid." Well, in business, it's all about the customer, who you're serving. And you've got to know what that specific niche is. And it can't be broad. I think it has to be very, very narrow, the exact perfect customer, and how do you attract that customer. Our second tip is, the reason I call my agency FishBait, it comes from two expressions. One, you got to fish or cut bait, but the second one is you got to bait the hook to suit the fish and not the fisherman. Meaning it's not about you, it's about that consumer and that customer, and what kind of value are you going to bring for them. You know, what's the vision of your business? And that vision has to be, what am I delivering for customers? What are the right products and services that I bring uniquely to that consumer target? You know, I feel like a lot of times people don't know where they're trying to take their business. You know, it's like, how do you identify the finish line first? What are your goals and objectives for your business long term? You know, do you want to sell it to a bigger entity? Do you want to go public with your business? Do you want to pass it on to your children? Do you want to pass it on as a legacy to your employees? Or do you just want to harvest it? You know, is it a cash cow kind of thing? I think every business has to answer that question. What does the finish line look like for you? I've sold one agency to another agency to be bigger and to play in a bigger pool. And for me, I was able to go to Europe and run their Europe, Middle East, and Africa operation, which helped me. The second one I sold strictly to sell it. And we sold it to a publicly traded agency, and we were able to cash out with the sale of stock. The last agency, FishBait, is just me, and I'm trying to, you know, just take money out of the business for me personally and to, you know, fund my retirement. So I think you try to find out what you want to do, what's the end game for you. You know, never confuse activity with achievement is something that Coach John Wooden at UCLA said all the time. It's not about being busy, it's being about busy with the right things. Do you have, you know, real goals, real objectives, real attainable results that you're striving towards? And don't do busy for busy's sake. I tell people all the time, if you don't have anything in your to-do list today, leave. Go play golf, go to a movie, go home, go for a run. Don't fill up days just to be busy. I'd rather have people work 1 hour a day productively than work, you know, 10 hours non-productively. When I was a coach, we used to say shooting makes up for a multitude of sins. If you can score with the basketball, you're probably going to play. If you can sell, you're going to be successful. Nothing happens in a business unless somebody pays you. I mean, somebody's got to pay you for your product or service, and that involves selling. You know, marketing is creating demand for your products and services. Sales is fulfilling that demand. A business will not exist if you don't sell. You know, you can only make so many calls. At some point, there's only 24 hours in a day and 7 days in a week, and if you're going to sell, you got to have some things coming into you. You can't always be going out, and that's your reputation. Let's take a restaurant. First time it opens, you're going to advertise, but then word of mouth creates the buzz and creates the reason. So people come to your restaurant because they've heard about it from a third party. You know, in coaching, I used to say it wasn't the X's and O's, it was the Jimmy and Joes. It's all about people, and you've got to get the right people on your team. And I think there are 4 critical elements to the right people. Number 1, they have to be loyal. Above all, they have to be loyal to you. Number 2, they have to be loyal to the vision of the business. They got to really passionately believe in the business and what you're trying to do with the business. Number 3, they got to be talented. I mean, you win with great people, with talented people. And number 4, they got to have a great work ethic. They got to be willing to work as hard as they possibly can work. I probably penalized my children by criticizing their B's and C's and not recognizing their A's, because truly their A's were what they were going to do in their lives. If you're not good at math, you're not going to have a math job. And I think that's true in business. You know what you're really, really good at and really, really passionate about, and those are the things that you ought to do in your business, and hire somebody to do all the other stuff. In my case, I'm lousy with numbers, so I hire a very good accountant and a very good tax attorney that helps me with those kinds of things, and I don't get caught up in that stuff. At the end of the day, it's all about people, and it's all about scaling and getting people to buy into your vision and your activity. With teams and businesses, there's only two ways to get better. You either make your people better or you get better people. You've got to make your people better, and that's where I think you've got to train them, you got to reward them, you got to incent them, you got to coach them up daily to make them the best they can be. I had it as number 10, but I really think it's number 1. I think we have a higher purpose in life than just making money. I think there's a reason we make money. I told people before that I've never seen a tombstone that said, "I wish I had one more day to work." Why do you work? You don't really work for the money. You work for the other kinds of rewards and the intangible rewards. And one of the great things about running a business is you're able to make a profit and give some of that money back to charities and causes that you're passionate about. So I encourage every business to find something they're passionate about. I happen to be passionate about children's charities.